The altar is going right now. And there's the army, the level 7 army coming up. Sleep on it. Figured we'll do Current Glen. Sorry. We'll do Current Glen, then we'll go back to Dresden, deal with Sela. Alright. Reinforcements. Still only level 9. You're gonna come down here, I think? Yeah, here. Troops sent to reserve for retraining are ready to return to the front lines and the commander's support forces. An army of 397 strength will be formed in Dresden. The army will be equipped with units most common in your forces. Let's go. That's going to be so good. The strength of the chain of command. The war wears soldiers down and defeatist attitudes sink in. In order to reinforce the discipline, the commander's staff must look for solutions. We're going to do that. And we're going to do this. Okay. So we're definitely going to be doing that when we get back to Dresden. I don't think we're level 13 yet, but I think we're getting close. Yeah. So I need to go here first to this cave. Bro, what's up with you? Land, come on, dude. You're the fastest guy here. What are you putzing around, dude? Let's go.
Head on!
Can't believe my eyes. It's like I'm back in Sarkoris.
This was simple enough.
An ancient Sarkorian hymn praising the spirits of nature that have been carved into the stone.
Call me again if you need to.
A depiction of the World Tree can be seen on the mossy stone. This is how Sarkorians imagined the universe to be.
I lead. You follow.
This was simple enough.
A scene from the myth of the Great Hunt has been carved into the ancient stone. At the center is a depiction of the divine wolf.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
Make every strike count.
Prepare yourself!
Gross. Examining the carcass after the battle makes it clear that the horse was not plagued at all. It looks very clear. It looks very strange, though, as it had perished long ago and some kind of parasite had taken over its body.
Onwards!
We're going to be doing that fungus that takes over insects. Forget what that's called. Help, they're going to eat me.
Danger ahead!
So this is what happened to Sarkoris. They got infected with these fungaloids.
Desna, guide my hand!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Fall!
Make your peace.
You won't survive me.
Ona Arayanan. I will resist!
Endure this!
I told you, no mages. Come down, Issa. I've received reports of the hunger that moves at the south gate. I have no time to stop and think. Well, make sure you do next time. Ugh, the stench of sorcery. I can hardly hear Serena through it. The goddess is displeased. Well, I'm sorry, Issa. Next time, before I ride off I'll have a good think first and just come when the demons run amok in Gudrun. And forgive me for stinking. Come my next bathing day, I shall make sure to scrub my armor. Her expression turns pained. Enough talk. Talking to you is impossible. You're behaving like a barbarian and in front of our visitors, too. I'm sorry you had to witness that. Someone may have forgotten how to act like a chieftain, but I still remember the laws of hospitality. Welcome to Gundren, travelers. Serena promised to lead you here, and here you are. So you're them then, huh? The outlanders from those hazy prophecies? If you've come in peace, then you are well met. And welcome home. You were expecting us? She was expecting you. The guy in Numerian armor casts a sidelong glance at his companion. We both were. The great Serena caught the scent of one of your party during the heavenly hunt. Many nights passed. It was you. The moment you awoke, Serena knew. Oh, the spirit of old Sarkoris is strong in you. I can sense it now, too. Serena, you say? I've never heard of that goddess. But that's no surprise to me. We've got a lot of them. We had a lot of them, I should say, in the old days. It doesn't matter that you don't know our goddess. What matters is that she knows you. Can't argue with that. And if she knows me, maybe she knows my god as well. How did I wrong Erevar? Why won't he answer me? Serena knows all. She will certainly help you. Who are you? I am Ysena, the shaman of this tribe, the guardian of our traditions, spiritual mother, and conduit of the will of the last goddess of Sarkoris. And I'm Sigborn, the chief of this place. More like headman. Sarkorian chiefs don't rub elbows with mages, and they don't wear Numerian metal on their chest. For the first time, a shadow of irritation passes over his face. No, I am the chieftain, Isa. I've been protecting this town with a weapon in my hand going for almost 10 years now. And I'm going to keep doing it, even if you think everything I do, every breath I take, even the way I scratch my ass is wrong. Even if our ancestors spit on me from the skies above, I'm going to keep doing it. We are the leaders of this town. These are the last inhabited lands of old Sarkoris, and we take pains to preserve our heritage. It's painful, all right. Like preserving a boot that's lost its pair. And what about you, strangers? Aren't you going to introduce yourselves? I'm Kang, a crusader from Canabras. You're a long way from home. Where are we? She sweeps her hand in a fluid gesture. This is Gundren, the last stronghold of our old Sarkoris, the land that will resurrect our great homeland's former glory. A patch of barren land on the very edge of the world wound. A little town of refugees, and worth as much as a beggar's spittle on the country road. And our home, where we will fight for till the last drop of blood is spilled. I like the two of you, and I don't know what to think. Part of me feels like I never left home. You talk just like we talked, and you look like you could be my own kin. But at the same time, you're as strange as if you just came down from the moon. And you're just as confusing for us. You and I look of an age. I might even be slightly older, but then again, you're also old enough to be my great-great-grandfather, and you saw Sarkoris back when it was still green. It's enough to make your head spin. Should I talk to you like you're another townsman, or pay my respects as an honored ancestor? None of that now. Honors and ceremony are the last thing I need. A fair amount of time has gone by, I know, and a lot has changed in the world. But we chanced to meet and we accepted each other, and if we seem strange to each other, well, no matter, we'll get used to it. Who is Serena? Oh, you know her, trust me. Serena is one of the most remarkable beings you have ever met in your life, but we will have time to talk about her later, not here and not now. What kind of an answer is that? You're saying that Serena of yours brought us here? Then it must have been for a reason. Take us to her. Patience is a virtue. You will see Serena, I'm sure. But it might be difficult. Either way, before you go to her, you should visit the town, our tiny but still living piece of Sarkoris. Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I'm almost lost hope of seeing fellow Sarkorians alive ever again. I nearly went mad with grief when I saw the stone voices was silent, and that there was no one to answer me. You can't imagine how delighted we were when our stone suddenly came to life. It had always been silent as far as I know, and then suddenly. The point is, today you are a guest of Gundren. You will see Serena later, soon, but not until she wishes it. How'd this place come to be? Its origins are linked to the fall of Old Sarkoris. It is a story of the sorrowful days when the caravans of refugees, dreaming of salvation, reached out to Ustalov. Back then, our ancestors didn't know that our neighbors were, how should I put it, none too honorable. Our people were looking for a place to sleep and a piece of bread, but they were met with a wall of pikes. The Ustalovs didn't want to let refugees in, so our people were forced to turn back, and Gundren, a small fishing village on the border, became the refuge of these poor souls. A good 100 years have passed since then, and to this day we're none too fond of Ustalovs, to put it mildly, and rightly so, of course. I'm not one of those who claim that every person in Ustalov is a rotten scoundrel. No, that's nonsense. It's every other person. Who were we fighting just now? We don't know ourselves. We call those creatures the hunger that moves. Small demon stuffs themselves inside the skin of a dead man, and off they go. They didn't always used to come so close to town. We haven't had cause to look into them before now. I want to hear about the demise of Sarkoris. It happened long ago. 100 years have passed since the demon hordes destroy our shining lands. Not a day go by that I do not grieve for it. My heart wound still bleeds. I'm imbibed by the pain with my mother's milk. Couldn't you have imbibed something useful, like which mushrooms are safe to eat, or when's the best time of the year to plant turnips? And this man has the blood of Sarkorian chiefs flowing through his veins. You shouldn't have spent so long roaming the sellsword, Sigvorn. The ways of the ungodly Numerians are set too deeply in your mind. You're both right in your own way. And you're both idiotic children in your own way, too. You're arguing about needling each other, just like we did in my old clan. Can you finish the story about Sarkoris, please? Right, Sarkoris should have endured for 1,000 years, but it fell in a single night. It must have been the will of the gods. Sarkoris fell in a single night because it had turned a blind eye to the cult of Zaskari for too long, and the will of the gods had nothing to do with it. It was the will of Arilu Vorlish. Devious scum. That name, I don't want to hear it. May it sink into oblivion. After that one, how could anyone trust a mage? At the right time, in skilled hands, any tool can be useful. Let me take a look around town. You're right, we've done enough talking. We can't hang around all day, can we? Isa, you stay here if you want, but I've got a trade council soon. I see you can't wait to take a look at our town, but give me a few more minutes. There's something you must know about without delay. You have appeared on our doorstep at a difficult time. An unknown sickness has swept through our town in recent days, and Sigvorn has quarantined Gundren's right bank. I want to heal the sickness, using the power of the great Serena, but Sigvorn won't let me near the afflicted. He's packed them all into one building and put a guard at the door. He sent off for a healer from Numeria, and now he's just waiting for them to arrive. But will the sick last that long? If only someone could convince the bullheaded man to let me help, but it's not just that. There's no way to reach the other bank now. I trust you will find a solution. I'll see you later at Wolf's home. Our conversation is still to come. Oh my gosh.
Move out!
Examine the altar.
Damn! It's just not my lucky day.
Well, we're good.
I lead. You follow.
You chose an auspicious hour to appear on our doorstep. Wolfholm welcomes its guests. Ulberg Olesk, servant of the Heavenly Griffin, is knocking at your door. May I cross the threshold of Wolfsholm? You are a welcome guest in this house. Come in. It's an honor to have you. Surely you don't let a visitor from another tribe in so easily. What if I wasn't who I claimed to be, but some Oglin or Fae? You should have tested me, asked me some question to catch me out. But anyway, you've bidden me to come in, so in I'll come. But you should thank the gods that this time at least I am who I say I am. I didn't know. I keep the old ways, but so much has been lost. Thank you for pointing out my error. Show the strange charm. This stone looks old. Could it be from Sarkoris? Oh, may I hold it for a moment? I've never seen one, but I've heard about them. It's so ancient and yet it still holds power. They use charms like this to honor the forest spirits. Spirits are like godlings. They're so weak, but they are still useful. The sacred grove still has a few altars standing. If you can try your luck, perhaps your charm will awaken one of them. Those monsters at the gate, why did you... Oh, you find them troubling. It's true, demons at our very gates. Serena sends me visions of the dark, coiling evil creeping its way into town, but I can never discern its source. We must search the surrounding lands and learn where the hunger that moves comes from. Evil, you say? You know, on our way here, we came across more than just your Serena. We also ran into some oglings with wings like a fly. I remember it saying something about its master. Could that be what your goddess is warning you about? It could well be. If only I could hear the voice more clearly, if only I knew the sacred rituals better, then I would have to guess. Don't be so hard on yourself, you're doing a fine job. Dealing with gods is always tricky business. Bamboozled at every step you are. You haven't heard a peep from my god in a long time. Why? What did I do to anger him? Your guess is as good as mine. What did you call me? How could I not? You are all that fills Serena's visions these days. The visions come to me one after another, and in each one I see you and the one that walks beside you. That must be me, then. And Serena's the she-wolf that appeared before us in the ruins of Current Glen. A good omen, but what did we do to deserve it? I've never been in your town before, and sorry, but I've never heard of Serena either. But she knows of you, isn't that good enough? What can I do for Gundren? Do you wish to help us? I knew your arrival was a good omen. I had doubts at first, for Serena's visions are not always clear. I wondered if you would be a great boon or great misfortune, and even though only time will tell the truth, I have faith that our future is bright. Gundren's troubles are many, you know. We are few in number, and it's difficult for us to defend our home and gather food. But for as long as Serena watches over us, we remember and honor her, and will be well. The great wolf will show us the right path. How could it be any other way? God, she can talk so much and say absolutely nothing. And yet there's one thing that the long distance is giving me cause to worry. Serena's shine in the sacred grove. Once, long, long ago, yes, just like in the tales, long, long ago, the grove was a place of safety, and people were free to enter the shrine. Can you imagine? Shamans of ages past could see Serena with their own eyes. Speak with her just like you're speaking right now. Not through obscure images and visions. Oh, how I wish I could return Gundren to those days. Who can say? Perhaps you've come here to change everything. Where should I start looking? Darkness, thick rustling darkness, the smell of dirt, moisture, and stone dust, and splashing water, waves crashing one by one against the shore. That is what Serena is telling me, and Serena is never wrong. Look for a place that resembles this vision, and may the Great Wolf's blessing be with you. Thank you. I want to ask you something. Tell me about yourself. What can I tell you? I'm a shaman, the spiritual leader of our town, a gentle and wise mother who listens to anyone who will come with her woes. I keep the traditions of old Sarkoris, listen to Serena's will, and pass it on to the people. But if you ask Sigvard about me, you will hear that I am a petulant little girl with a head full of old tales. It may be so. I will show that stubborn old fool how real old tales can be. Tell me about Serena. Remember how I said you already know her? I spoke no word of a lie. The white wolf that brought you here, that was Serena, the great wolf of Sarkoris. Serena, the swift-pawed, Serena the sharp-eyed. Her fur is whiter than the coldest glacier. She breathes in time and breathes out eternity. Those were the words my grandmother first used to describe her. Serena's the last goddess of Sarkoris. Not the last. Erevar, the heavenly griffin, still lives. Maybe other gods have survived as well, but I doubt there are many of them. You're right on that score. What's your opinion of Sigvorn? It's obviously we don't get along too well, isn't it? Whenever I see him coming along the road, I already know the two of us are going to fight like cat and dog. I just can't stand it. Every part of me rebels against his disregard for our traditions. Mages, Numerian technology. He drags anything and anyone to his so-called clan without a second thought. All that matters is that it works. Ancestral experience be damned. What he doesn't understand is that the body must be one with the soul. You cannot give up on your heart to save your body and remain yourself. Why, just look at the hunger that moves. It looks all right. The shell is alive, but peer inside and you will see a terrifying void. That's harsh, comparing a corpse stuffed with flies to your own chieftain. But sorcerers and Numerian metalsmiths, they're no laughing matter. You're right about that. How did you learn about Sarkorian traditions? One can learn much by paying attention to the words of elders and reading the right books. When I was little, I learned all the Sarkorian tales by heart. About the Griffin Brother, the Bear People, the Black Mage, I was so enthralled by it. And when I grew up, grandmother gave me the book she had inherited from her grandmother. So that's how it is, books and grandmother's tales. That's all that's left of our people, and not even 100 years have passed. How did you come to be a shaman? I'm delighted you asked. It's my favorite story. Every Sarkorian tribe must have a shaman who welcomes the newborns, bids farewell to the departed, gathers the people for celebrations, and communes with the gods. Such is the way of things, but Gundren hadn't had a shaman for a whole generation. The people thought the goddess had abandoned us, but they themselves had long forgotten how to worship her. The sacred grove had filled with wicked things, and it had been many years since any had entered the shrine. I was a little tot, must have been no older than 5, when my grandma let me out of her sight, and I ended up in the sacred grove. Everyone knows that that place meant certain death, and yet I reached the very doors of the shrine and came back, and not a hair in my head had been harmed. Serena kept me safe on my journey. I remember her white fluffy tail. I kept seeing glimpses of it ahead of me, and I remember the smell of apples in fall. You know, those big red ones, the ones that only turn sweet after the frost first hits? And after that, Serena began sending me visions, and eventually I took up the vacant post of shaman here in Gundren. I remember it just like it was yesterday. The warm, rough surface of the shrine's door under my finger. I wish I had touched it just one more time. Are you descended from the shamans of this place? Honestly, I don't know. I think I am. Would the goddess have spoken to anyone else? I'm sure the blood of Sarkorian shamans flows in me. Thanks. Woof.
Onwards!
Oh. Alright. Oh. No, that's not where we want to go. That's far enough. I've told you 100 times. There's quarantine. Stay on your side with the rest of the afflicted. The healer will arrive soon. I'm about to knock out every tooth you have. Succeeded. Fine, fine. I see you're not the one to be messed with. Go on, I don't want any trouble.
Move out!
Are you the heroes who helped fight off the hunger that moves at the gates? So now you know how to handle the abominations. You can help me out, too. I'm Blemming, an outstanding citizen and merchant of this town. Ask anyone. Everyone knows me here. I make a living bringing back certain goods from Numeria. Of late, however, I haven't been able to bring anything. The hunger that moves is stalking the mountain pass, and now my caravan can't make it through. If you help me, you can be sure I'll see to it that you're well rewarded. Let's trade. Why, gentlemen of such a distinction, would be an honor to be served by a recent cray. My merchandise is what it is. Simple articles for peasants like myself. Why would the hunger that moves... Okay, so you're not going to sell to me? I don't... Why would the hunger that moves attack a caravan? It's a good question, but do I look like an expert in these abominations? On the face of it, there's no reason the hunger that moves should attack wagons. But for all I know, perhaps there's no other prey in the mountain pass, so it attacks whatever living flesh it sniffs out. What do you do in Gundren? I bring back goods from Numeria. I'm a humble trader, but here in Gundren, people like me are worth their weight in gold. We have to get some of our most basic items from Numeria, or we'd be truly miserable. What with Ustalav imposing a blockade on us 100 years ago, that's where I come in. I bring back hardware tools, fabrics, spices, you name it. Tell me your problem and I'll decide if I'm going to help you. There's not a lot to tell, really. Caravans bound for Numeria use the mountain pass. There's no other route. And it's there, the narrowest stretch, that the hunger that moves has made its new home. My caravan's been attacked twice. I haven't seen it myself, obviously, but many of my people escaped with their lives, and they all say that they were attacked by the hunger that moves. Now everyone's flatly refusing to go without a heavy escort. But where am I supposed to find the people to do the job? Sigvorn has no manpower to spare on account of the quarantine. So will you do it? Yes. That's great. All right, I have to go. Harrison Cray. Sorry to bother you. I've heard so much about you. I couldn't miss the opportunity to see you with my own eyes. Where are you and your companions from? I am a crusader from Dresden. Crusader from Dresden. Imagine that. Very interesting. I usually see Numerian travels here and occasionally the Ustalav. You really are a special visitor. Forgive my curiosity. I imagine you have questions. Or would you like to see my merchandise? This stone looks valuable. What do you think? It's nothing remarkable, a common occult item straight out of Old Sarkoris, judging by its exterior. If you want to sell it, I can offer you 1,500. Sorry for not being able to go any higher. It's just what you'd call fast-moving goods. I think I'll keep it. I understand, a most versatile item. Perhaps one day you'll crack a few nuts, and you'll fish it in your pocket. Who are you? I used to be asked that a lot back when I used to come here. Your question almost transported me back to those old days. What used to be my answer? I'm a foreigner, but you needn't be afraid of me. I'm an Ustalav, but I weigh all the pros and cons of running a pitchfork through me. Those were the days, full of fuss and new faces, a pleasant mystery. A lot has changed since then. I've settled down here, started my own business, put on a few pounds. Happy to make your acquaintance. My name is Harrison Cray. I'm a rare breed around these parts. A merchant and an outstanding one too, I might add. By the way, what would you say if this merchant had business to discuss with you? Tell me what kind of business first. Information decide first, decisions later. You're a shrewd one. I could see that right away, and that's the reason I'm making the first proposal. I suppose you've heard about the trouble of the Wolf Goddess's temple by now. In case you haven't, here's it in a nutshell. For a long time, the temple has been besieged by demons. The goddess's powers prevent them from getting in, but they have no intention of leaving either. I've managed to find out that the demons are likely coveting a certain knickknack that's inside the temple. Well, knickknack is one way of putting it. Some might prefer ancient relic. It's really just an old piece of wood with rich history, but as long as it stays in the temple, those monsters won't leave the town in peace. If you happen to get inside sometime, take a good look around. Ideally, I would like to acquire the item, but I would also welcome any information. Is it actually in the temple? What does it look like? Where is it being kept? Get the idea? I'm always prepared to pay handsomely for anything you can tell me about it. I'll look around the temple when I get a chance. You've made me the happiest among merchants. Glad to shake the hand and seal the deal. And remember, the reward will be very generous. I'm saying this in case you're not especially concerned about what will become of Gundren. What's it like living in Gundren as an Ustalov? If the locals' looks could kill, but they can't, so it's eminently tolerable. Yes, I'm a little unpopular, this is true. You see, being an Ustalov here is an indelible stigma. No matter how many years I've been, and will continue to be, an honest shopkeeper, they always say he's a nice chap, sensible and honest, but still an Ustalov, so don't put your pitchfork away just yet. Do you understand? What's the deal with Ustalov in this place? It's the trouble of bygone times. When old Sarkoris fell, a handful of survivors sought refuge in Ustalov, but the Ustalovs were afraid of the demonic scourge. Ustalov closed its borders to refugees, and the blockade has continued to this day. Yes, it's an antagonism that goes back decades. The blockade is a deplorable misunderstanding stemming from a lack of research into the nature of demons at the time. I was profoundly outraged to learn that the borders were still closed. While, of course, it was beyond my power to change that, I did all I could. I came here and opened my shop so that my merchandise might be in some way a relief to these people's hardships. Tell me about Gundren. A wonderful place. It's a bit of an acquired taste, quiet and old-fashioned, but you can feel its potential. Gundren can be more than this. It's a shame not everyone who's in charge of the future sees that. What do you think of Sigvorn? A most worthy man, courageous, honest, and a true leader. Another pleasant trait of his openness to new things. Much as he strives to remain true to Sarkorian roots, or his idea of them, it's just that he lacks any flexibility in political matters. Do you see what I mean? And Gundren is in badly need of allies. He's too ready to bend whichever way the breeze is blowing. Whoever heard of sorcerers in a chieftain's band? You know, it's not a good idea to trust everyone who's trying to make friends with you. Who wants Oglins for allies? Allow me to assure you, I have no dealings with, what do you call them, Oglins? On the contrary, we're talking about honorable, respectable people whose favor will only benefit Gundren. I reckon you're no better than Oglin yourself. Look at that slimy smile. I can see right away you're up to no good. What do you think of Isena? A wonderful woman of firm principles, a true Sarkorian, although between you and me, the total of her knowledge of the ancestral ways comes from what her grandmother told her of what her own grandmother have told her. You get the idea. She goes out of her way to revive old customs, but from where I'm standing, it seems sadly to do nothing to help Gundren move with the times. Wouldn't you say forward is the only direction worth moving in? Time only moves forward. Be like time, that's what I always say. He who plows on ahead with no knowledge of the road will stumble into a bog or fall into a ditch and break both his legs. The girl might not know our traditions very well, true enough, but she at least tries to follow them. What do you think of the wolf goddess? A most interesting entity. In terms of power, she doesn't exactly rank with the likes of Iomedae, but she is powerful enough. It's sad to see people's faiths in Sarkorian's gods wane, by the way. A pity, but time passes and some things pass with it. What was before will never be again, nor will old Sarkoris rise from its ashes. Show me your wares. Of course. Barf, dude. Quiver of Rose's Thorns. 20 units of unholy speed ammunition per day. Per day? Wow. Ustalovic Pride. This +3 full plate armor grants +3 enhancement bonus to charisma ability and +4 enhancement to command. Combat something. It also grants damage reduction 5 against attacks from the undead. I already have that. Nah, my armor's better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of the powerful pummel. And get the new one. I'm gonna do that. Okay. You can't wear rings. But he can.
I lead. You follow.
So you've been hired to protect us, is that right? Good, good. We'll set off now. Oh, crap. I wasn't ready. As soon as you're ready, let me know. Okay. There we go.
We won't fall here. I swear it. Make every strike count. Did you see that?
Prepare yourself.
I will bring down the divine wrath.
Onwards!
Why are these guys bad guys? Nice. Missed.
Desna, guide my hand.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The light. Take you.
Die!
Make your peace.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
Battles
Meditate
await.
on your mistakes. Might make you feel better.
Okay. I want to come back up here. Come over here. I think we'll do the caravan first. Maybe we should talk to the main dude, actually, before I go.
Head on!
I finished here. Is there more?
Owl's Cowl? +6 enhancement to Wisdom. If the wearer benefits from any shifter aspect, they also gain +2 circumstance with all natural attacks. If the cowl is worn with the cat's boots, an additional +2 circumstance to AC. Oh. You know what? It's a better helmet for him. +4 initiative to AC. Is anybody not wearing a helmet? Everybody is wearing a helmet. +1 to AC. +4 to initiative. I don't really need wisdom or charisma, but we'll stick with it as it is. We'll give that helmet to somebody else.
I lead. You follow.
Bjorndorf. How'd you even cross to this side? I've been having a few choice words with the guards in the crossing. Come in since you're here. Do you need any help with the quarantine? No, I'll handle it just fine. I've already sent off for a healer. Bjorn, my advisor, took care of it. The healer's delayed in coming, of course. You'd think he'd hurry his nag a little with the fortune I paid him. Well, no point in fuming over it. He'll be here any day. Why won't you help Yesena help? Why won't you let Yesena help? If you've talked to her, you probably understand the reason. She's a heedless one. She believes Serena will protect her from everything, and she'll walk through the fire armed with her faith. And the disease is dangerous. 3 of our people have already died. That's why I've put the sick in one house and put a guard at the door. It's the safest thing to do until the healer gets here. There's something else. The reason why Isa is so troubled by the whole thing. The disease reared its head on the day after the feast. And so you know what feast that was? The one in honor of our wolf. Yesena is in charge of the preparations every year, so she torments herself and she feels guilty. And it takes a clear head to deal with any serious job. What do you know about the disease? Barely anything. It all began right after the feast in honor of our Serena. They haven't even taken the garlands off the doors that evening when the first one fell sick. Maybe they brought the disease along with some foreign foods, maybe it's something else, but people are hurting and dying. Talk to Bjord, he can tell you more. Your people might not last until help arrives. I am aware. What do you suggest I do then? I can't get a healer from Ustalov. The border is closed. Not that I want anything to do with those fools. Alright, it can't hurt. Go have a look if you'd like. I'll tell my people to let you go where you please, but Yesena is not allowed to go anywhere near the sick. If you figure out a way to weed out the disease, please come and talk. What are these metal things on the walls? Oh, these? Everyone gawks at them. That? Like that light? But I got used to seeing them back in Numeria. The machine can predict the coming rain. And that one tells time, and that one is a trophy, a memento of the glorious past of the Numerian mercenary. Yes, I'm telling you this openly. My band and I, we are not ashamed of it. You're not ashamed, fair enough, but you've got nothing to be proud of either. You're wrong. A victory is a victory, even if it's in a foreign land, in a foreign war. Without those victories, without trophies and experience we brought back from Numeria, do you think Gundren would still be standing today? What's your opinion of Yesena? She does good work. She's a fine lass. I have no quarrel with her as the tribe shaman. Those old traditions of her, on the other hand, how are we supposed to get anywhere if we're always looking over our shoulder? Isa has to understand, everything changes in the world and we must learn to change along with it. What matters is that you hold in your heart, and that's where I hold Sarkoris. Yes, this is Numerian armor, but underneath it I'm still the same descendant of a Sarkarian chieftain. I swear it in Serena's name. There are some things you shouldn't do for the sake of surviving. There are some things that shouldn't be changed. Listen to the shaman, chief. It's a centuries-old tradition for every tribe to have its own shaman, and it's there for a good reason. Maybe you're right, but it's also a centuries-old tradition that the chieftain and the shaman must be at each other's throats. It is, and that is the truth. What are your thoughts on Gundren? What a thing to ask. I'm chief here, you know. My thoughts, they're the same thoughts as any father has for his child. For all their faults, they're still my children. I think I regret every day I spend away from this place. This is my home, my tribe, and my tribe needs me. I won't let its spirit stiffen and wither, bound by old traditions. Mages, technology, even horned devils, for crying out loud. We will absorb it all and turn it to our benefit. One way or another, Gundren will live. I'm listening to you, and I don't know what to make of it. On one hand, Chief, I'll put it plainly, you're talking nonsense. When has ensorcery ever helped us? But then again, you've got the Sarkorian spirit. You're talking balderdash, and you're talking like a chieftain. What are we supposed to do, friend? Old Sarkoris died 100 years ago. The world's been turned upside down. What used to be reasonable in this madness now, and what sounded like madness now, makes sense. Every time's changed. But our spirit's the same as ever, no matter what century we're in. Tell me about yourself. I am the chieftain. Do you see this sword? I got it from my father, as he got it from his father, as he got it from his. And the one who originally forged it and let it drink the blood of his enemies was a Sarkorian chieftain, many moons before the fall of this land. And what was his name? Tell me, chieftain, what is your clan name, and what is the name of this fine sword of yours? Want to test me, do you? Very well. I present myself as is proper. I am Sigvord Daughtry, son of Aswald Daughtry, grandson of Walder Daughtry. Our clan was founded by Trovan Daughtry, the great smith who trapped Dragonflame in his forge. And as for my sword, its name was lost long ago with our homeland. My grandfather died defending his home when my father was just a babe. The sword survived, but my grandfather took its name to his grave. May I take a look? I knew your great-great-grandfather, Wilbur Daughtry, and this blade, I've seen it in battle. Its name is Dawn Cutter, and I see that you have not dishonored it or your ancestors. Dawn Cutter. Thank you, I've never been given such a precious gift. Alright, I'll talk to Bjorn. I'm Bjorndolf, advisor to the chieftain at your service, Outlanders. I'm strongly advising you against looking into this matter. Why would famed warriors like you concern yourselves with a quarantine? But I won't go against my chief's orders. Ask me what you will. What are the symptoms of the disease? The symptoms are horrible. Stomach cramps, weakness, and fever. The affliction brings down strapping men as well as children and the old. Take my advice. Do not venture close to the sick or the bodies. Serena protects those who protect themselves. How long have people been ill? A couple of days, since the evening of our feast day in honor of Serena the Protector. Tell me about yourself. About myself? Oh, I'm not worthy of your notice. I'm just a man who does his duty. Sus. I'm suspicious of this man. Let's start the caravan.
Move out!
Apart from the previous caravan, it was damaged in the attack and its goods are scattered on the ground.
Head on!
A lot of dudes. You feel an alarming phenomenon as you notice that one of the men by the wagon is making strange movements with his hand. He's casting a spell. You stare at him, he stares at you. In an instant, you understand each other without a word. He's controlling the living dead. You've betrayed your town. My town. I didn't choose to live a pathetic life in this bloody backwater. If I could show you what it's worth, perhaps I could convince... Anyway, that'll never happen because of you. Tell me who you're working for now. Better just kill me. If I tell you, I'm done for. Alright, I'll kill you then. I didn't kill them, but I brought them all back. Every last one of them. Look. Alright, Teffin. You're going down, son.
I will resist.
you not move? Grasp of the Dead.
You won't survive me.
Didn't affect me, bitch. Or her, for that matter.
Prepare yourself.
Endure this.
Let's hear you cry.
Into the fray!
I lead. You follow.
You're saying that Tefn was a necromancer? That explains why he was always hanging around the cemetery. Something else he said, but it faded away before I could read it. He said he was always going to visit his dearly departed grandma. Anyway, we can handle things from here. Head back to town.
Onward!
Come on, land. Alright, so caravan problem has been solved. That was trouble the merchant. Tell them what happened. The path to Numeri is open. It wasn't the hunger that moves. One of my lads, double-crossing necromancer. Serena, protect us. Dark things are afoot in Gundren, you mark my words. As for you, many thanks. Received bracers of the mighty boar. These braces are adorned with fragments of a boar's tusk. They grant the wearer +6 enhancement to strength. Whenever the wearer charges using a natural attack, their first attack in the round has its base damage tripled. +6 to strength. Whenever you charge with a natural attack, the first attack has its dice damage tripled. And this is just +3 to hit when polymorphed. And +3 damage. But if my first attack is tripled, ooh. 1d3 plus 9, so that's 3d3 plus 9. Because that's only... Wait, that's only damage dice, right? The damage dice is triple. That's not actually a huge increase. Eh, it's fine. It's good. It's just it's not your damage is tripled. Visit the sick. Where are the sick? Infirmary.
Move out!
Hey, buddy, why do you run around like that? He looked around, all around. Why can't I see my hands? Where'd they go? Am I dead? I'm sort of see-through. My mother told me drinking would be the death of me, and she was right. Who are you? So you can hear me? Thanks, Serena the Protector. I'm Donick. I'm a friend. You're invisible. So I'm not a ghost? Have you been cursed? Have I been cursed? Gramps did this to me for stealing his liquor. Sounds like your grandfather was an alchemist. No, he is? Come to think of it, the liquor bottles were a little small. Gramps, why would you do this to me? So you drank his liquor, huh? Yeah, well, why not? He's old. He doesn't need it. That crate just gathering dust. Stay here while I think of something. Alright.
Head on!
Drunkard. Alright. I am going to go ahead and save here tonight, everybody.